Hi Stampers, welcome to my channel. My name is Lori Staley, Addicted Stamper, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States outside of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. If you are returning for another Make It Monday or you're brand new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by today. I'm excited that we're going to have a few minutes to stamp together today. We are doing sneak peeks because guess what? We are just down to a few days before this, about a week, I guess, before this catalog, these two catalogs go live. Of course, we have Saleabration, January and February. Lots of fun things in here. Look at some of these beautiful papers. And then we have the Mini Catalog from January through June, which is just filled with products that I know you're going to want in your crafty stash, because I do. I've been a demonstrator for 18 years. I have a lot of things in my crafty stash. But if you've been thinking about it, if you want a discount on your toys, which is why I signed up, and here I am 18 years later, you know, I still love what I do, and now I actually do it for my job. So that's really cool. I get to stamp for my job. We will have a promotion, starter kit promotion coming up when these catalogs launch. If you don't have a demonstrator that you're working with, you need a set of catalogs, or you want some more information about that starter kit promotion, please reach out to me. I'm happy to share information with you, get you a set of the catalogs, and just answer any questions that you might have. So speaking of doing some sneak peeks, in case you missed it, I did start the series about 2 weeks ago. So this was the first one we did, the cute little ladybug, right? And then we did this beautiful card last week. And these are quick and cute cards. If you are running out the door and you're like, man, I wish I had a card, these are great. And you don't have to use the stamps or the embossing folder that I used or any of that. You can just use the layouts. All the dimensions, directions, etc., not directions, but dimensions and products used are below in the comments or in the description. So when you're done watching, if you want to recreate that card, be sure to pull that out and look those up. All right, so today we're going to do a little bit of a fun fold, not a hard one, so don't panic. Again, these are meant to be quick and cute cards for you. Great for any level of stamper. So I have a regular 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock. I scored it at, of course, our 4 1/4. And then I scored it at 2 1/8, okay? So that's all you have to do to prepare your card base. And we're gonna fold and we're going to, there's my bone folder. We're gonna go ahead and crease that with the bone folder so we have a nice sharp crease. And then we're gonna fold this one back on itself. Okay, get that crease nice and sharp. So I have the Daffodil Daydream Bundle that we're going to be using, and the Coordinating Designer Series paper. This is just a small piece of it. This is coming in the Saleabration Catalog, I believe. Lots of beautiful patterns. And yeah, so that'll be something that you can get for free with a $50 purchase. I'll show you these dies. These dies are amazing. If you played with our peony dies, the builder dies that we like to call them, you can see here how you're going to have opportunities to build your very own daffodils, turn them into whatever color you like. We've got leaves, we've got stems. Of course, we have dies that are going to cut out all of your stamped images, right? And then we have this beautiful border stamp in here. Happy Mother's Day or Easter blessings, and yet another splatter stamp. I love splatter stamps. I think we all do, right? It took me a while to warm up to them, I have to admit. But now, when you have that space that you just aren't sure how to fill, a splatter stamp works absolutely fabulous. All right, so let me slide those back in. See, they're so new, I don't even have them on a magnetic sheet yet. It'll happen. All right, so we're going to play with those. We're going to go ahead, because, you know, things disappear. We're going to go ahead and mount this to the front of the card on that fold back, if you will. Make sure, yeah, not upside down, though. There we go. So I was just going to say, make sure you have the orientation right, and sure enough, I didn't. All right, then I use the scallop and contour dies, and I'm telling you guys, these are a must-have in your studio if you don't already have them. These and the Stitch So Sweetly are probably 2 sets of dies that I reach for more than anything else. Now this one does coordinate with color and contour, so again, your images to be stamped out, and my frames here have slid up. And then you have that beautiful scallop edge that you can put on your card edges, and then all of these cute little frames. And one of these has openings on the side that you can slide ribbon through, but they are, like I said, they're a staple, and I reach for those quite a bit. So I've already die cut one out of the Pear Pizzazz. I have some very vanilla. So one of the cool things about the upcoming papers, very vanilla is a core piece in there. So this is going to get mounted on here. We also have very vanilla for the inside of our card. Let's go ahead and stamp that. We're using some Memento. It will definitely tie in with our designer series paper because it has the black background. I'm using my grid paper here to help line me up. I want to make sure I have that well inked. And I do have a foam pad underneath my paper, so important when you're stamping with the photopolymer stamps. If you're struggling to get a good image with photopolymer, make sure that you get a foam pad put under you. We sell the piercing mats in the online store, in the catalog. I can't remember, they're like $5 or $6, I think. So worth the investment. I have several. Again, I teach classes, so I put them out for my customers. But yeah, they are really give you the extra cushioning that you need on the photopolymer stamp, because unlike the red rubber, it doesn't have that foam cushion actually right on the stamp. So, all right, so there's our inside, and now we're going to stamp this beautiful daffodil image. Ooh. And you see me taking the stamp pad to the stamp. I do that with my larger stamps for a couple of reasons. One, I'm sure I'm getting the ink everywhere, that it's entirely covered. And see, like right there, I feel like it's not. So let's try that. I can add a little extra pressure. Now that looks better. But it also keeps me from getting ink on my clear block, which sometimes when you have a large stamp, it's easy to rock it when you're inking it up in the traditional manner. So I like to take the stamp pad to the stamp in that case. Now we are going to go off the edge of the paper, and that is perfectly what we want to do because we want this to fit inside our Pear Pizzazz scalloped frame that we've created. Isn't that pretty? I think that's a beautiful image. And of course this then will go right in there. But we've got to add some color to it, right? So we have tons and tons of different coloring mediums in Stampin' Up. We have our pencils, our watercolor pencils, we have our blends, we have our Stampin' Right markers, we have our blending brushes. I mean, all of them are fabulous. One that we don't always think about so much is to color with your ink pads and a blender pen. Now this is not a blending brush, this is a blender pen. So what I do is I take my ink pad and I kind of squeeze it so that what I'm doing by doing that is I'm getting a pool of ink right there. And I'm going to take the blending brush, not blending brush, the blender pen, sorry, don't mean to confuse you. I'm not going to close my ink pad because what I'm going to do is pick this color up from right here. And then I'm just going to color in our stems. So if you haven't invested in the blends, right? If you haven't invested in the watercolor pencils, although this would be beautiful done in watercolor pencils as well, this is an option for you. And all I'm doing, like I said, I just squeeze that ink into the lid, and then I'm picking that color up. There is a fluid in these pens that allows you to apply and move the color around. Okay, you get 3 in a pack. These are in the annual catalog, so don't be looking for them in the mini because you won't find them there. But they give you a lot of control, so you can go around the blossoms on the flower. And another thing that you can do, so I always recommend to my friends and customers, when they buy an ink pad, go ahead and grab the re-inker. You have no idea when you first start out how much you're going to use that ink pad. You don't know if you're going to be stamping away, have your ink pad open on your table, the phone rings, you go to the phone, oh, now it's time to make dinner, oh, now it's time to get the kiddos ready for bed, oh, well, now I'm falling into bed. And guess what? You come down 2 days later because now you have some more time to stamp, and your ink pad has been sitting open on your table for 2 days. You're going to need a re-inker. So that's one reason you want a re-inker. But the other reason is you could absolutely drop some re-inker into the lid of your ink pad. Not a lot, a drop or two. You can always go back and add more. And use these and pick the re-inker up and color with them. Gives you a little bit more intense color with just going straight with the re-inker, but it is another way to color. And again, another reason why, just go ahead and grab that re-inker for $3.25 for that color, because you just never know when you're going to want to do a special technique or color with it, right, with your blending pen. So I already have some ink in here. I'm going to put a little bit more in. And again, all I'm doing, we used to call this CPR, right, because you're doing that compression, and then you get a little bit more ink in there. So I don't know if you noticed, I just scribbled the green off onto my scratch paper, so I'm sure the fluid is running clear. And then I'm picking up the color, and again, I'm just kind of diluting it a little bit by, rubbing it around in there. You can go as dark or as light as you want. We're going to do the centers. Just add some color in there. Oh, that one doesn't have a center. And then we're just going to do the petals. I know this is like watching paint dry. So I'm going to do it as quickly as I can. But I do think this is a really pretty flower, and it would be great for Easter, Mother's Day, a spring birthday. I love that we get so many different options. And then when you coordinate this with some of our all-occasion greeting sets, the possibilities are endless. The one thing you do want to make sure is that you always keep the caps when you're done using your blending pens. You always keep the caps on them. That keeps the liquid in there from drying up on you. And if you notice, before I started, I kind of touched it on the back of my hand. I wanted to make sure that it was a wet tip. If the tip dries out, you're not able to move the color around, and then you don't get the effect that you're looking for. So I always double check that before I start coloring with it. Okay, and then I think I'm going to make this guy down here. It looks like it's a bud that hasn't opened yet, right? So let's go ahead and make him green. But that didn't take too long, as you saw. Get the yellow out of there. Right? I keep doing that because I'm so used to stamping with it. I still have some green ink in there. So we're just going to finish that off. Okay, so there we go. There are our beautiful daffodils. I'm going to clean that again, just scribble so it's running clear, just because I don't want to pick this up to use it the next time and forget that I didn't clean it, right? All right, so we're going to go ahead and mount this onto that base. I'm going to have an opportunity for an embellishment because I picked up a little bit of a mark there. But we have some beautiful brushed brass butterflies. Say that 3 times real fast. Which will be a perfect embellishment for this card that I can put on top of that. And I used those in the last video, right? So they look like this. They were on this card. So check out last Monday's video if you want to see that. And again, these are quick cards. I mean, that one took a little longer because we colored, but really it didn't take a tremendous amount of time. And I just did something really silly, so we're going to see if I can recover, because I forgot to put the greeting on here. So let's see. There we go. Happiest of birthdays to you. I think that's from the All Squared Away stamp set. And then when they open it, it looks like this. So there's your fun fold, right? This is an easy fun fold, but it's really kind of cute. And then even when they set it up to display it, they get to see the whole image. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed yet, I'd love it if you would subscribe. Help me out. And I'll be back next Monday with, I think, will it be our last sneak peek? It might be. Or no, it might. Yeah, I think it will be our last sneak peek, or it might be the launch of the catalog. I'm not sure of the date. The holidays have me all messed up. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year to you. And I will look forward to stamping with you in 2022. Thanks so much for stopping by today. Have a good one. Bye.